Oh, hey there. Hi, guys. Welcome to Adobe's Pillow Talk. My name is Hyla. I'm going to grab my iPad here. And we're here in the Airbnb house, Sundance 2016. And joining me right now is a filmmaker who premiered his feature right here for the first time at Sundance, Andre Hyland. Come on in bed with me, buddy.
Coming
Get
through.
Oh,
coming
okay,
through.
There all right.
Pardon me.
Okay.
Watch the foot.
Nice.
Watch the foot.
Okay, thanks. That's how you get into bed when, like, you have that tiny ass apartment and you have to shove your bed in the corner. You know, that's the only way you can get in is climbing over people.
You got to, and you got to watch the feet. You don't want to track in the street muck.
No, man, there's a lot of that. First, when was the last time you were in bed with a stranger who you just met?
Deliberately?
The 4th.
Yeah.
Dude, people are digging this.
They seem to be enjoying it. They've got out their digging shovels.
Are you pumped? I know you had a short here a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And then you said, you know what? I like the way this tastes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and go for bigger.
Yeah, I said I made a snack. I want to make a whole meal.
Right?
I had the appetizer.
And you did that.
Yeah.
So what's the 4th about? Give everybody a quick little rundown of the 4th while I play a clip here.
Sure. It's about a dude who basically he's just trying to throw a 4th of July cookout while his roommate's out of town, and which seems like a simple enough task, but it ends up not being simple. It ends up running into like lots of tiny hurdles that turn into bigger consequences that basically unravels his daily life and makes it miserable.
It's
not for the viewer. It's amusing to watch him go through, annoying hurdles and things like that.
Well, talk about the annoying hurdles trying to make this guy.
Trying to make it. Yeah, I don't know. I made it. Man, I'm totally lost my voice, or not totally, but it's getting there. Yeah, about making it. I tried to approach the movie the same way I had with like my short and with. I've done a lot of TV stuff in the past and in segments, and I've done a lot of hidden camera stuff. So I'm used to trying to keep the crew as small as possible and make it feel like there's not even a crew there. Right. So that's always sort of a part of how I go about things.
Well, it helps with, you're writing it, you're producing it, you're directing it, you're acting in it.
And I edited it, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a major shorthand there. So there's already a handful of people that don't need to be there because it's all here. Not that I didn't have other people helping, of course, but like, but yeah, that allows for a shorthand for sure, and then keeping it small and light.
Talk about some of the resources. Like, if I want to make a feature and I don't have a ton of money, how do you pull it off?
I'd say do it in doses. Like, we shot the first chunk of this movie in 4 days. And it was just kind of like, well, let's see if we can pull it off. Because I had like a 25-page outline. I thought, if we'll try to see if we can shoot a feature in 4 days. And if not, it doesn't matter. It's just an experiment. We'll come out with a short at least. But we shot the first 4 days and had really like 70% of a feature shot. And we shot that in May. And we had always planned to shoot like B-roll in July, on 4th of July, so we could shoot footage of fireworks and like intercut it into the May footage to make it all, make it feel like it took place on the 4th of July. But then we ended up turning that into a full 3-day shoot. And from that, I was able to cut a full rough of it together. It was all kind of all in flux, but like I was able to cut a full rough of that. And then I knew when I had the rough cut what we needed to sort of like spice it up and make it feel complete as a movie. So we ultimately shot for 12 days over like a 5-month period. So I guess what I'm saying is doing these small doses, and my manager I worked with a lot of times, like financed it, and he was the main producer on it. But also there was like a million favors called in from people as well to make it all work.
Well, that's another question I have, is that especially early on, early work, you have to call in these favors.
Oh yeah.
So it's like,
and save the favors for when they're worth it. Also.
Okay.
Like whatever. That's how I could get on a whole other thing.
No. I want to hear this.
Yeah, save it favors, like choose your battle, save it for when it counts, and I did this, 2 things, sort of did it in doses, so when people came in, it was definitely taking their time, but you do it in these doses, so it's not, taxing. It's a lot easier to show up for, 2 out of 4 days or 4 days, instead of being like, I need you for 12 days.
Right.
or we're trying
3.
or whatever. So, not to say that people weren't working hard, but it makes it more digestible for everyone involved, and it allows me and the producers to have to carry the sort of ultimate weight.
And speaking of digestion, feed your crew. Right?
Yes.
If you can't throw them a ton
Yes.
of money.
Yeah.
Feed them really well.
Yeah, we did our best, but yes, food was always always there, unless we already ate it all. But yes, that's a definitely number one factor. Like, yeah,
Hanger on a set can just be a
no,
killer.
it's toxic, as they say, if everybody's hungry.
Um,
I'm on the other end. I forget to eat when we're shooting. I completely forget. I get completely consumed with what we're doing and just don't eat, which is bad.
Let's talk about one of the most adorable things
Sure.
that I noticed, because I went to the premiere.
Yeah.
I was at the Q&A afterwards. You put your parents in the movie.
Yeah, you can hear them. They play they're the voice of an NPR story that's playing in the background during a car scene. Yeah.
And here at Sundance, the vibe is super casual, right?
Yeah.
It's like mountain ski resort cabin vibe.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? It's not like the Cannes Film Festival where
Yeah,
everyone's
yeah.
close to the tees. But your parents came out. I'm going to stand up because I want everyone to see this. Your dad,
Yeah.
okay, contrary to what everybody else is doing, your dad wears a full-on tuxedo,
Oh, you came correct.
cummerbund, right?
Yeah.
Bow tie,
Yeah.
even the tails.
Yeah.
He had the tails.
He left his top hat and cane in the car, but
Dude,
no,
how rad
he
is
came
that?
correct. Yeah.
Your dad's killing it. I don't know who this schlub is right here. Oh, I lost
you
the
lost
photo.
it.
You know, this guy, G's in a t-shirt, but
Well,
Pops
you
is
know,
like,
everybody's got their own aesthetic. That's Sean Parker. He's great. You know, that's his style, and my dad's got his, and my mom's got hers.
so,
Well, I did tell him. I said, hey, you can wear whatever you want. He goes, fancy as you want or as casual as you want. You know.
oh, no, he made the right call.
Yeah. No, I'm saying he did. Yeah. Yeah.
He killed it. What does that mean to have, like, God, your parents obviously supporting you?
He's a distinguished British gentleman.
I can see that, for sure. He was just forgetting his monocle, but other than that, the whole outfit was complete.
Yeah.
Talk about your parents, you know, were they supportive of
Yeah. Well, like me.
your film career and trying to get this up and running? Because, come on, anytime someone has a dream of doing something in filmmaking or Hollywood or entertainment, the parents are like, can you get a real job?
No, they
You know?
never liked that because like they're always supportive of what me and my siblings did, like whatever our career choices were, you know. And also like I did homeschooling from when I was in 4th to 7th grade, and that's when I started. Me and my two brothers have dyslexia, and then well, that's a whole other long story. But anyway, so that was why we were being homeschooled. But while we were doing that, we started shooting videos with our video camera. That's when I started making videos, and like so ever since then, I've been like they could tell I was serious about it.
Yeah.
I mean, and my parents are both creative people, so they're not,
They get it.
they get it.
They get it, man. Well, okay, so how you first started shooting when you were a kid? How long have you like seriously been making stuff?
I'd say since I was 19 is the start where I would say that's where I would show someone still. I'm not embarrassed about anything I've made, but that's where I would say the stuff I'm doing now, that's where that aesthetic sort of, I don't know, officially began, at least in my mind.
So 19, how old are you now?
36.
You're 36.
Yeah.
So what do you see? I mean, the whole next category is like telling stories in a new way. What are some of the trends that you're seeing in filmmaking right now? How are filmmakers telling stories differently, or how do you see the future changing over the course of the next couple of years?
I feel like, well, it's cool now with like stuff like Redbox and Netflix and all that stuff. There's like way more ways to get stuff out. It's kind of a bummer there's less at the theater of those sort of movies, but like you can still see them, which is ultimately, I guess, the most important thing. But I guess as far as trend, it seems like, people have been saying it for ages, like, with the equipment now, you can make your own movie, which is so true. But it's finally coming to fruition. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not just like one element of it's good, and you can, I don't know. I feel like whatever medium you choose, as long as it's right for what you're doing, it's right. But what am I saying? Oh yeah, as far as storytelling, I feel like tone is finally being given its fair shot.
Okay.
And then also comedy doesn't always have to be so overt. I mean, there's still
more
a lot.
subtle
Yeah. There's more space for that sort of stuff, and
Right.
and there's more space for like character-driven comedy, not like wacky, not the wacky policeman, but like like a character that's got their own realistic personality. Who, I don't know, Eastbound and Down is great, and things like that.
Okay, like Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah, Curb Your Enthusiasm is great. Yeah, like Curb is pretty ahead of its time, but yes, that vibe, like It's Always Sunny is another one. Those sort of shows.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We have a question. We have a question deep within the internet.
Oh, okay.
Karen from the voice.
So you started making videos really early on.
Yeah.
What advice would you have for people for those getting started?
Make stuff. I mean, that sounds really lame, but I would say you don't ever think like, oh, I don't have a good camera. Like, if all you have to shoot on is a cell phone, use a cell phone, get started there. If you don't even have that, if you all use a tape recorder, start making audio tapes. Just make stuff. Like, it's one of those. That's what I did because, like, you know, people always say like, oh, you need to meet the right people, and of course that plays a role in some things. But if you meet someone you don't have any work to show, like,
Right, exactly.
whatever, and like,
Right.
let's say you have work, and then they open up person X opens up an opportunity to meet person Y. If you can't deliver a new thing, it's all waste anyway.
Right.
It's all. It all plays a part. Nothing's nothing, but like the main thing is you have to make work.
Well, Ira Glass, he's a host of This American Life.
Yeah.
He has this spiel. If you Google Ira Glass and talking about creativity,
Yeah.
it's just making a huge volume of work.
Yeah,
a huge
yeah.
body of work.
Yeah.
That's the only way you get good at something.
No, it's totally true, and don't be afraid. Like with this, with like we're saying, we're making this feature. Like I don't know, we maybe do a shorter feature, and it's kind of an experiment. And I knew, like, not in a cocky way. I was like, or I don't know if it sounds cocky anyway, but like I was like, it's gonna be as good as I can make this at this point in my life. So that's just what that's gonna be the sum of its parts. So like,
Right.
if it's terrible, then I'll just learn from it and move on. I mean, what's the worst thing that happens? I make this bad thing that no one knows about.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And the early stuff that you make will be crap. Like, just accept that.
Yeah,
and learn from it and keep
Yeah.
building on it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it won't even necessarily be crap, but it very well could be. But also just know that whatever you're doing down the road, you're gonna make something better.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid. Don't be too precious. I think that's the thing. People get scared. They're like, oh, this is my feature. It has to be my opus or whatever. And it should be as good as anything you're working on, because you want anything you work on to be as good as it can be. And
I
if
think the crap was a little harsh. I shouldn't have said that.
no, but that's also true too. You got to make the bad stuff to get to the good stuff.
Right.
And sometimes you look out and the bad stuff is good. But the good, I'm gonna say this, yes to that for sure. But also the good thing about making what might turn crap is you're uninhibited. You're learning, and I think one of the great things about the internet and bad things is that like people have this compulsion to just put everything online. You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that. You can make something like this movie. If I made it and it was bad, I'd just be like, all right, that's. You know, I don't need to show people. It's not a big deal. Move on with your life.
Be choosy with what you post online.
It's not like every artist is like, oh, I did 1 million thumbnails. I'll put those up at the gallery. Not that you couldn't do that as another thing, but whatever. I'm just saying, like, it's a process. You don't have to share everything.
Yeah.
But the great thing about the internet is when it's cool, you can share it. You know what I mean?
It'd be great when you're like a huge successful artist and in 60 years you throw the crappy stuff that you hid from everybody. And they're like, oh, it's great.
Well, it's funny too, like when I had the short at Sundance 2 years ago, people were like, I mean, and why would they know? It doesn't matter. But like, they're like, oh, is this for short? And it's just like funny. It's like, oh my God, I've done so much stuff for ages. But like, I don't know. But then the cool thing about it is like, you know, if this movie pops, like people will then know about my archives. I got tons of videos online for ages now.
Exactly. Some more questions.
Yeah.
Karen.
All right. In your comedies, how much is scripted and how much is improv based on the situation?
It varies from project to project. I'll say this, every project, there's absolutely room for improvising. I'd say, and scene for scene, project for project, how much it's heavily scripted varies. But in general, I always have a tight outline where I know I want the story to go, beginning, middle, and end. And if the actors know what they need to do, like I need to get from point A to point B with whatever the scene may be, if they know that, then they can say it in their own language, their own phrasing, and it comes out much more naturalistic. You know, of course, even in scenes like that, I'll have lines, I'll throw them, of course, or lines that are pre-written to sort of structure it in a way. But the main issue is like, no, they need to know where they're going. Like, you know, if like someone asks you where you live, you know the answer, and you say it however you would say it.
Naturally, right.
Yeah, so I give them the script and that sort of information, you know?
Are you ready for the final five?
Okay, sure. Let's
so
do
much
it.
enthusiasm. These are the final 5 questions of the interview.
Oh, shoot.
Yes.
Is it like a quiz or just questions?
Questions. Number 5. When you need to go into an uninterrupted creative space, when you need to jumpstart your creativity, where do you go? What do you do?
Put headphones on by my computer.
Do you listen to something in particular?
Or you know what? The shower, actually.
Oops,
the
sorry.
shower, sorry.
The shower? Okay.
The shower, well, I don't go there. Like, I need to think. I'm head to the shower. But a lot of times I'm taking a shower or on a drive. That's where I come up with a lot of ideas. I spend a lot of time walking. Walks. Walks help.
So you'll
walk, showers, and drives.
Purposely be like, I need to think. Let me get in the car.
Well, not so much that, but I'll make the conscious effort of like I'm not going to put on a podcast or the radio,
Right.
so I can just get lost
Right.
in my mind.
Dude, too much stimulation. We need to turn that
It's
stuff
true.
off to get the creativity
Because in
going.
LA, the podcasts are great for those long drives, but when you turn it off, that's when you come up with ideas.
Oh wait, I'm jumping ahead of myself. I got my numbers mixed up.
Oh,
Four,
yeah.
number 4. Are you more productive staying up late or getting up early?
Late for sure.
He's a late guy.
Always been that way since I was little.
Okay. 3. What's a creative killer that you try to avoid at all costs?
Assholes.
Get out of here. Get out of here with that junk.
Someone thinks they're too good for a project, bow out. Don't stick around and complain.
What's your biggest fear when making a film?
Bad audio.
Bad audio. It's so true, right? It's the little things.
Yeah.
And the number 1 question, the last question in this interview. What story should be told in 2016?
A story should be told?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What's a subject or topic that needs to be covered in filmmaking this year?
Energy drink culture.
Four Loko?
Yeah, all of it. Modern America and stupidity. We're in an age now where even smart people are dumb. So, I don't know. We should talk about that.
Andre Hyland, you're a fantastic,
Thanks for
good
having
man. The movie's the 4th. It's playing at Sundance, and hopefully you'll get to see it sooner than later.
Yes, hopefully.
On
yes.
a computer or screen near you. Thanks for hanging out, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate
man.
it.
So now we snuggle, right?
Spoon? 4?
Fork. I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means.
Scissor?